Guys, all of you are able to see my screen and able to hear me? Okay, perfect. Just give me 1 minute, guys. Okay, let me just I'm right now on Wi-Fi. Give me 1 minute. Let me connect the Ethernet cord. Okay, just give me 1 minute, guys. All right, guys. Thanks a lot, and let's start. Okay. So, any doubts in constructors, guys? Any doubts in the constructors? Anyone? All right, no doubts. Perfect. If no doubt, let me just go ahead and see what you call this, the constructor chaining. Okay, now yesterday did we discuss about the constructor chaining, guys? Yes or no? No, we did not discuss about the constructor chaining, is it? No, we discussed, or we did? Okay, okay, perfect, guys. Okay, so yesterday we discussed, say there are two constructors like this, one more constructor like this, and say this takes string name as an argument. Okay, and say you can have something like this. Okay, this is what we discussed. Okay, so basically, and how will I call this, guys? If I want to call this constructor no argument constructor from line number 9, how will I do it? This is what I'm gonna do, correct? Okay, so I want to call this constructor, that is single argument constructor, from line number 9. How will I do it? I want to call the constructor, this constructor from here. So how will I do it, guys? How will I call this constructor? This dot this and Alkesh. Okay, so all of you know this, correct? This is what we're gonna do, this, and send something like Rajini. Okay, this is what we discussed, guys. All right, no doubt, correct? And if you want to pass this particular name variable itself, you can do this one as well. So this is what about the constructors, guys. Okay, now if I run this class, what will the output of my program, guys? What will the output of line number 7 and what will the output of line number 8? Line number 7 will give you what, and line number 8 will give you what? Allocation 99, allocation 99. Any other answer? Allocation 99. Let's see, guys, what is the output. I'm not saying whether the output is correct or not, but I'm telling you, if at all you guys give me the correct answer, you can lessen 50 rupees from your course fees, guys. Okay, if you give me the correct answer, you can lessen 50 rupees from your course fees. Okay, so tell me, guys, again, try it. Okay, so now from here on, whatever answers that you're gonna give me, I'll take those answers and find out. Okay, correct answers with a valid reason. If whatever you pinged it, that is your correct answer, then just ping it back. Alkesh is saying allocation 0. Any other answer, guys? Yeah, let's wait, and Alkesh, let's wait for this to answer. Whatever it is, let's wait for this to answer. Rajni is saying null and 0. Suganya, what's your answer? Suganya, I'm expecting you to answer me today itself, not tomorrow. Okay. Now, let me ask the person who gave the correct answer. Rajni, why do you think it is null and 0?
Because it is not this dot name is equal to name. I thought name is roll number name is equal to this dot name.
So what
So
is happening?
sorry.
Yeah, so what does it mean?
So it is initializing um, default values.
Initializing the default values. Can you try it again? Like what exactly you wanna say? Can you like if I ask you what is happening at line number 14? If I ask you, if you give me the correct answer, then fine. I understand you got something, okay, but just put it in a proper sentence. If line number 14, what is happening? What I'm doing?
Mm,
Okay. If I write line number 14 like this, say if I write line number 14 like this, now what is happening, guys? What is happening here? what I'm doing on line number 14. No guys, no. My question is not this one. I want you to answer like what I'm doing on line number 14. Just put it in a sentence. Rajni, you are able to hear me?
Yeah, Vishal. In this, we are assigning local variable value of local variable to global variable.
Perfect. And what we are doing now, the same thing, the line number.
Yeah, probably global variable to local variable.
Correct. Correct. So yeah, so your answer is correct. Okay. So the thing is you have to tell it correctly. Okay. See, you are not changing the global variable anywhere. Are you changing the global variable? No. Whatever value that is there in the global variable, you are assigning it to the local variable. Okay. That is the thing, and that was the correct
Okay.
answer. Okay, but you knew this is what is happening, right? Even though you were not able to put it in words,
Yes.
you knew it, right? Okay, perfect, brilliant. Okay, so you have 150 rupees. Okay, perfect, thanks a lot. All right, so guys, all of you understood what is the thing here. You are assigning the local variable, sorry, global variable to the local variable. You are not assigning local variable to the global. Okay, instead you are doing other way around. Okay, so value of the global variable will not be changed. It was 0 and none initially. It will remain 0 and none. That is what you are doing, right? Yeah, that's what, null and 0. All right guys, anyone having any doubt? Anybody? No? All right guys. Okay, perfect. So you guys know what is constructor chain by this time. That's a good thing. uh, Fine guys. Okay, now did I teach you guys about something called as method overriding? Did I teach you guys about method overriding? Sorry, method overloading. Did I teach you about method overloading guys? Okay, so then I is saying no. Alright, so then perfect. Okay, so let's learn method overriding guys. Okay, let's learn method overriding. I'll say correct. Correct, Rajin. So we discussed it already.
Sorry?
Did we discuss it?
No, we did not.
No, no, we didn't, right? Okay. All right. All right, guys. Let me create a class called as overloading example one. Okay. I'm just creating one class. Okay, it has a main method. It has a main method, and say there is a method which says public, or else let me take an example of method which says public static void greet. Okay, this is a method. All right, now if I say SYSOUT, I will say good morning. Okay, this is what I'm saying, guys. Good morning. See, there is one more method, and here, first of all, let me know, guys. Can I have, if I uncomment this line number 14, what will happen? If I uncomment this line number 14, what will happen, guys? A line number 14 to 16. Okay, if I uncomment, what will gonna happen? Yes, duplicate error method. Okay, you cannot have the same method. Okay, fine, it's perfect. Same method, the compilation error. All right, now say one method takes string as an argument, string name, and say inside you are saying plus name. Now who will tell me the output of this particular, when I run this program? For example, if I run this program, what will be printed on the console? If I run this program, right click, run as Java application, what will be printed on the console, guys? Here what will be printed? No, I want to know what will be printed on the console, guys. Okay, just saying no idea. Anyone else? Rajni, I'm not asking whether methods are called or not. So this is what will be printed on the console, like saying methods are not called. That is what will be printed on the console, like this. On the console, you will see this particular line. Is that what you're saying? No? Okay, perfect. Then that's what. The question is what will be printed on the console. Suvanya, you have any idea? No? Okay. So the answer is nothing will be printed on the console because we have not called the method. What Rajni said is 100% correct. Okay, we have not called the method. Okay. Now tell me, guys, if I say now what will be printed on the console, guys? according to you? Okay. Good morning, Sachin. Good morning, Sachin. Correct. Now, these kinds of methods which have same method name but different kind of arguments. See here it doesn't take any argument, but here it is taking a single argument. These are called overloaded method. Okay, what Rajni initially had told, it's correct. Okay, these are called overloaded methods, guys. Okay, overloaded methods. And this feature was not there in C. Okay, so C, uh, but it is there in the Java, guys. Okay, you can overload the methods. Okay, and it's not just about the number of arguments. Here it is 0 arguments, here it is 1 argument. It is also about the type of the argument. Okay, say if I have int roll number, okay, and you say my roll number is, you say roll here. Okay, now all these three methods are overloaded methods. Any doubt, guys? I can call any of these methods. Any doubts? No doubts? Okay. Now, this is very important question, guys. Okay, this is very important question. What will happen? There is a method like this, and I'm gonna do like this. Okay, I'm gonna do my name. Okay. Now, if I uncomment line number 14, 15, and 16, will it give me any compilation error, guys? If I uncomment line number 14, 15, and 16, will it give me any compilation error? Alkesh is saying yes. What about others? Rajni is saying yes. What about you, Suganya? Yes. So Suganya, can you tell me the reason why it will give me? So what is the problem if I have the number of arguments and type is same? What is the problem, guys? Why you cannot have same name and type of the arguments? What is the problem? Yeah, that's right, guys. Okay, can't decide. For example, it will not know which one to call. Perfect, guys. Okay, that's 100% right. So now if at all I am calling this particular method, okay, and I am passing this Sachin, okay, it will not know. It will first check, is there any greet method? Yes, there are two greet methods. Which one among these is taking one string argument? Both are taking one string argument, correct? So the problem is it will not know which one to call. Okay, so it forget about, even if you don't write this, it will give you the compilation error, guys. Okay, so just by changing the variable name, you cannot overload a method, guys. Okay, that's very important. Okay, so because so many people gets confused on these kinds of things. Okay, perfect. So you know what is method overloading, correct? Is there any doubt in the method overloading, guys? Method loading, in method overloading we will have the same method name but different arguments. Alright, now when I go back to constructors now, If at all you have more than one constructor in a class, by default, these constructors are overloaded constructors, guys. By default, these constructors are overloaded constructors. Any doubt? Because same constructor name, but different number of arguments or different type of arguments. So if at all a class has more than one constructor, those constructors are by default overloaded constructors. Okay, that's what you have to understand, guys. Perfect. Now if at all we are done this far, what is next, guys? Okay, so there is no doubt in method overloading, constructor chaining is absolutely no problem, correct? Did we discuss about inheritance, guys? Inheritance? No. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. Now let's go ahead and start. What is inheritance? Okay. What is inheritance? On dot mark dot inherit one. Okay. So say this is my package, and I'm creating a class called master class. Okay, master class, or I'll say user class. Okay, user class. Yes, inheritance we're gonna see now, guys. Okay. Now say in any real-time application, say you are creating an application wherein some users can log in. Which are those users who can log in? Say a student can log in. Okay, student can log in to the application. Okay, one more person called as professor can also log into the same application. Okay, and but all these, see, these are the three classes what I have right here. Okay, user class, professor class, and student class. Okay, let's consider only two classes I have. I am creating an application wherein a student can log in, a professor can log in. Okay, let's forget about the user class for now. All right, say user class is not there. Student will have, if at all he is logging in, he will have something called as string username. Correct. In the same way, professor also will have username, guys. It will be string password. Even student will have a password associated with him. Student will have int roll number. But do you think the professor will have the roll number? No, correct? So professor will not have the roll number. Say professor might have string degree. Okay, professor might have a degree. Alright, guys. Now in these kinds of scenarios, what they normally do is, what are the common properties, guys? Okay, common properties are username and the password, correct? So what they will do is, they will create a new class called user. Okay, say user class. And okay, so they will create a user class, and instead of writing this username and the password here, username and the password in this class, they will put it in a separate class called user. Okay, a separate class called user. Now what is the problem here, guys? Okay, now but I have removed it from the professor class. So professor class has only one property called degree. Even student class has only one property called integer. So what I can do here is, if at all I want professor to have degree plus username and password, I will say professor extends user. This is what I will say. Okay. In the same way, I will say even student extends user. What's gonna happen is, this is what will gonna happen, guys. Okay, what I'm gonna tell you now. Say you have now user class like this, okay. Apart from this user class, you have two more class. One is professor class and one more is, say this is your user class, and this is your professor class, and this is your student class. Okay, and user class will have two properties. User class will have two properties, that is username and password. This is what we have said. Professor class has one property called degree. And the student class will have one property called roll number. Okay, this is what we have discussed, guys. Now if you say professor extends user, then all the properties of the user class will be available in the professor class. In the same way, all the properties of the user class will be available in student class as well when you say student extends user. So in effect, user will have professor will have degree property, plus professor will also have these two properties. What are these two properties? Username and password properties. In the same way, even the student class will have two, roll number and the username property. Even though we have not written it here, it will be available because it extends it. Understood, guys, what is basic inheritance? And you have to use this keyword called extends. If you want to extend any class, you have to use this keyword called extends. Any doubt so far? No doubt? Alright guys. Okay, this is about the basic form of inheritance. Say you are changing a little bit now. Okay, you are changing a little bit, and what you are doing is, okay, now only class can be inherited. Okay, now Rajni, what do you mean only class can be inherited? I did not understand it. So your first question should be, when you said only class can be inherited, you mean to say only the properties, I mean variables can be inherited. That is what you asked me, the first question, when you said only class can be inherited. Okay, okay. No, you, if you have a method, say if you have a method even that can be inherited. Okay, say you have public void, say say get my username. Okay, this is the method. Okay, say SYSOUT, my user name is dash dash dash. Okay, even this method will be inherited guys. Okay, even method will be inherited in professor class as well as student class. All right, now let me have one more class called create object. Okay, one more class called create object guys. Okay, something like this. In this create object class, first of all, I will create the object. I'll not say extends here for professor. Okay, I will not say extends. I will create the object of professor class. Professor p1 equals to new of professor. Okay, this is my class guys. Now, what are all the properties which are there in the p1 object guys? See, professor is not extending anything. So how many properties are there in this p1 object? Only degree property, correct? Right guys. Okay, so if you see here, if I say p1, only degree is coming up, other things are not visible, correct? Perfect. But if you say extends user, and now if I do the same thing, p1 dot, see, degree is available, password is available, username is also available. Okay, and get my username, this method is also available. All right, any doubt so far? This is called simple inheritance guys. Okay, this is called simple inheritance. Now, can we have one more class? This is the question to you guys. Okay, can we have one more class, say lecturer? Okay, lecturer, and this extends, if I say, is this valid or not, please tell me guys. Okay, if I say public class lecturer extends professor, Okay, if I do like this, what will gonna happen is now there will be one more class like this. Okay, sorry guys, one more class like this. Okay, and your lecturer, this will be a lecturer class, the lecturer class. Okay, and say it has a property called string, say some guide. Okay, say since he is a junior, say he might have something called as guide. Okay, so first of all tell me guys, is this valid? If I do something like this, is this valid in Java? Yeah, Alkesh is saying yes. Right, this is perfectly valid guys. Okay, so now if you see the lecturer class will have how many properties guys? Lecturer class will have how many properties according to you guys? One property, guide. It is extending something guys. Now think and tell me. So totally how many properties guys? Okay, totally 4 properties it will have, correct? Totally 4. One is its immediate parent, that is degree, username, password, and its own property called as guide. Alright, so totally now lecturer has 4 properties. Okay, and these kinds of thing is called something called as multi-level inheritance. Okay, this is called as multi-level inheritance guys. Okay, this is called as multi-level inheritance. Okay, so the lecturer class in effect will have one its own property, that is guide. Okay, apart from that it will also have the other properties like okay, so one is its own property, that is guide, and apart from the guide, what's happening is apart from the guide it will have also have these other properties. Okay, any doubt guys? Anyone? These are the properties will be there. Okay, apart from the guide property. Any doubt? This is called as multi-level inheritance. Okay, multi-level inheritance. Any doubts? Anyone? No doubts? Okay guys. And this is very much possible in Java. Okay, this is very much possible in Java guys. This is called as multi-level inheritance, and this is perfectly possible in Java using classes. Okay, now there is something else as well. There is something called as multiple inheritance. Okay, multiple inheritance. What is multiple inheritance, guys? Say you have a class called user class. So you have a class called user class, and you have one more class called as, you know, user one. This is, say, user one, and this is called as user two. Now the question is, say user one has one property called as name property, and the user 2 has a property called roll number property. Okay, and these are two different classes. Now the question is, can I have one more class like this which extends the user class, as well as it extends the user 1 class, and it also extends the user 2 class. Is this possible in Java? That's the question, guys. Have you read somewhere if this is possible? So probably you might need to write something like this. Say this is, say this class is, say, child class. Okay, and child class, child. Can you write in Java something like class child extends user 1 comma user 2, if this is possible in Java using classes? Any idea, guys? This is called as multiple inheritance. It is not possible in Java using classes. It is possible by using something else called as interfaces. We'll not be studying interfaces right now, guys, but using classes, this is not possible. Understood, guys? You can have multi-level inheritance like this. So in effect, the lecturer class is extending professor class also, it is extending the user class also, but it is hierarchical. First, the professor class is extending the user class, and then this lecturer class is extending the professor class. This is hierarchical. This is fine. This is multi-level inheritance. This is fine. But this is called as multiple inheritance, and this is not possible in Java using classes. Understood, guys? Any doubt? Any doubt, guys? Anyone? And this is not possible in Java using classes. Now, couple of things to know, guys. Okay. Now, what is the use of inheritance? You can say, if at all there is already a method which is written by a parent class, you can always extend its, things. Okay, like this. Okay, you can say it in that way. Now, let's concentrate on only few things. You can create the object like this. Now tell me, guys, if I create an object of the user class u1 equals to new of user. If I create the object of the user class, how many properties will be available for my u1 object? three properties. That's what is Alkesh is saying. And what are all those three properties, Alkesh? Username, password, okay, roll number. Okay, what do you think, Rajni? How many properties will be available for the user class? What do you think? Two properties. And what are all those properties? Yeah, username and password. Okay. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so that's right, guys. Okay, user class object will have only two properties, and you can also include this as a property. Okay, methods are also called properties as of an object. Okay, so it will gonna have only these three properties, guys. Okay, understood? No, it's not the student class. It's a user class. Okay, fine. Anyone having any doubt? No, that's fine. Unfortunately, Suganya's place, she lost the power, so she's not able to connect. Okay, I'll upload the recordings by tonight for sure. Okay, I was supposed to do it yesterday, and I'll upload those things. Okay, all right, guys. Any doubts so far? Any doubts, guys? No? All right. In the same way, if I create the object of, maybe the lecturer class, I will have how many properties? First property, that is guide, second property degree, third property username, fourth property password, fifth property get my username. Okay, all these properties will be available for the user class, guys. Okay, sorry, lecturer class object, guys. Okay, if I create the object of the lecturer class, it will have five properties. Okay, so this is what is the basics of inheritance, guys. Okay, now say the first question to all of you is, so far we have seen we will create the object of a class and you will save it in same class reference variable. That is perfectly fine. But what if I do like this? Professor P equal to user u1 is equal to professor. This is very much possible in Java. Okay, why they say it's possible is because of the following reasons. What they are saying, professor is a child, correct? So it will be a smaller object, and you can always store the smaller object into a bigger object. That is, say this is your professor object, and this is your what object, guys? User object. User is a parent, correct? So what they are saying is you can always store this user object into you can always store this professor object into professor object. Just a minute, guys. You can always store this professor object into the user object, because user object is far more bigger, and that is exactly what we are doing here. Any doubt, guys? Any doubts? So I'm creating an object of the professor class, and I'm trying to store it in user class reference variable. Any doubts? No doubts, right? Okay. Now, in the same way, do you think that we can do a vice versa? Say professor P1 equals to name of user. This is not allowed. Okay, name of user, this is not allowed, because you cannot see when you create the object of the user. When you say name of user, you are creating the object of the user class, guys. Okay, and it will be far bigger object. Okay, far bigger object. Okay, user class will be a far bigger object, guys. Okay, and you cannot go ahead and store this bigger object into a smaller object. What is a smaller object? Say your smaller object is professor, correct? Professor is a quite smaller object. It's a child, so it's definitely so you cannot cut this entire thing, okay, and you cannot make it to fit inside this, correct? It will be kind of overrated. Okay, so this is not possible, but first thing is always possible. So you can create the object of the child class, and you can store it in parent class reference variable. This is perfectly fine, guys, and this is possible. All right, any doubt, guys? Now, couple of things to know, guys. Couple of things to know. Okay, now I have, say, let me not take it more complicated thing, so let me just delete this lecturer class. Okay, now say I have a method called, or a constructor for the professor class like this. Okay, and it takes three arguments. Say it takes three arguments: string, I'll make it uname. Okay, un means username, pw for password, dg for degree, okay, and rl for roll number. Okay, perfect. Now say this professor class has this particular constructor which takes, say, three arguments. One is username, second one is password, third one is degree. Okay, these are the three things this professor class takes, guys. Okay, username, pw, that is password, and this one. And what I'm saying here, this dot username equal to un. this dot pw is equal to pw. Same way, this dot dg is equal to dg, guys. Okay, like this we have three different things. Now if you see, it says un cannot be resolved to a type. Un cannot be resolved to a type. Okay, because if I use this keyword, it will only search in this particular class. Is there anything called un? No. But if you, so this is the problem, guys. Okay, if you say un, it says un cannot be resolved to a type. Okay, because even though it is there in the parent class, you cannot go ahead. No, you should be able to. No, just a minute, guys. Yeah, you should be able to. Sorry. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is, it's as if these two properties are here as well. When you extend it, these two properties come here. Okay, so you can definitely go ahead and call it like this, guys. Okay, you can definitely go ahead and call it like this. Okay, in the same way, you can create one more constructor for your student class. Okay, and it will take, instead of dg, it will take rl, and it is integer rl, and this is rl. Okay, it's a student class, guys. It's a student class. Okay, now say, here is the thing. If I create the object of professor class like this, professor p1 equal to name of professor. Okay, now tell me, guys. Okay, this is what is your question. Name of professor to Rajni and all of you guys. Okay, name of professor. If I uncomment line number 4, will it give me any compilation error, guys? Alkesh is saying yes. Any other answer? Anyone? If I uncomment line number 4, will it be giving any error to me? Rajni is saying no idea. Okay, let's do like this. Okay, so Rajni, for time being, you forget that there is a class called user class, there is a class called student class, just, and there is nothing called as extends here. Now tell me, based on whatever we learned in constructors, if I say only one class is there, professor class, it's an independent class, and I have one more class called create object. So if I uncomment line number 4, will it give me any compilation error? Even Suganya, you can also answer. Okay, based on whatever we studied in constructors, guys. It will not give me any. Yes, yes, sir. Alkesh, you can also answer. Go ahead. I think you know the answer. Yeah. So what we discussed in case of constructor, guys, if you have your own constructor, if you have your own constructor, then your Java compiler will not put any default constructor behind the scene. So, and you have to call, if at all you have a constructor, you have to call that constructors, but we are not calling this constructor here. Do you guys remember we had studied this, guys? You guys remember or completely forgot it? Understanding, guys? Rajni and Suganya, any question? Okay. So what is the confusion? No, do you remember when I said if you put a constructor in a class, if you don't have any constructor, who will put the constructor in this class? What did I tell you guys? Remember? It is calling a constructor, but which constructor it is calling? Don't remember, Rajni? Say I don't have any constructor here now, and but I'm able to create the object, and I'm calling your constructor. When I say new professor, it is basically calling the constructor. So it is calling which constructor? No, what do you mean by it is called by Java? Everything is called by Java. Okay, will be created by the compiler, correct? Default constructor will be created by the compiler. So compiler behind the scene, what it does, it will do professor and this. This is what we discussed. Behind the scene it does it. But if you have a constructor like this, then your compiler will not put a default constructor because there is already a constructor. And since it doesn't have a default constructor, you cannot call a default constructor here because there is no default constructor, and behind the scene your compiler doesn't put it. Why? There's already a constructor. So according to rules, what compiler will put a default constructor only when you don't have any constructor in this class, but you already have a constructor, so there is no way we can put a default constructor in this class. Still confusion, Rajni? Let me know. Still confused? Since there is no constructor now, I cannot call the default constructor. No, I'm not talking. I'm waiting for your responses, guys. Okay, I was not talking. So I was asking you guys. No, I was not talking actually. I was waiting for your responses. I said, is there any doubt now? Like, is there any doubt now? Guys, you guys are all able to hear me clearly? Yes. So I asked you guys, is there any doubt now? If I say Professor P1 equals to new of professor, it is giving me the compilation error. Do you guys understand why it is giving you the compilation error now? Guys, what is the doubt? If at all you have doubt, at least let me know what is the doubt you have, so that I can, explain you guys. If there is no doubt, then I can proceed. Did you guys understand now why we are getting the compilation error? No constructor? I have a constructor, Suganya. I have a constructor on line number 8. How can you say there is no constructor? You don't see a constructor on line number 8? So what do you mean by no constructor then? You are saying no constructor. No, like you guys have any problem in the network, or you guys are not able to hear me properly? What is the problem, guys? Because whenever I'm asking something, there is no reply at all most of the times. Is there any network problem? Okay, so Rajni, you are saying, but not getting about the error. So You're not understanding why the error is coming, that's what you're saying?
Yes, Vishal.
Okay. The error is because, is there any constructor which doesn't take any argument in your professor class? Is there any constructor which doesn't take any argument? Okay. Any other doubt, guys? Any other doubt? Anyone? Suganya, you have any doubt? Suganya, you have any doubt? Suganya, I did not get you. You have any doubt in this particular thing? You understand why this error is coming? Suganya, again to you. Do you understand why we are getting the error on line number 4? So, Suganya, can you unmute yourself and can you talk? Unmute yourself and just can you talk? Hello? No, we are not able to hear you, Suganya. That's okay, fine. So Suganya, I am saying there is no constructor in professor class which doesn't take any argument. So you cannot call the no argument constructor that because there is you don't see any no argument constructor in the class. If you have something like public professor, if you had something like this, then you will not get this error here. But you don't have any no argument constructor in this class, so you are getting the error, guys. Understood? Any doubt? Anyone? Okay. At least when you reply, guys, I'll understand whether you are understanding or not. But I see you guys are not even replying. All right. Okay. So say professor class extends user class. Sorry. Say user class has these two properties, and the professor class extends user class. Okay. Now, if I pass username is Vishal, password is pass123, and degree is BE. Now I will have an object like this, guys. I will have an object like this, which will have three properties. One is username. Username equals to Vishal. Password equals to pass123, and degree is equal to B. Like this we will have three properties. Is there any doubt on this, guys? Any doubt? Anyone? We will have three properties like this. Okay, and it will be the P1 object. Okay, your P1 object will look like this. Any doubt, guys? Anyone? Alright. Now if there is no doubt, tell me what. Okay, so this is fine, but what if I do now? All of you tell me, if I do something like this, user u1, if I uncomment this line number 4, will it give me any compilation error, guys? If I uncomment line number 4, will it give me any compilation error? Alkesh is saying no. What about you, Rajni? Rajni is saying yes. And why it will give me compilation error? Rajni, why do you think it will give me compilation error? So Rania, what is your? It should not give error. Okay, but you said yes just a while ago. Your answer was yes. Okay, fine, guys. So it will not give me any compilation error. Okay, it will not give me any compilation error. Okay, so now let me create one more object, say P1, and this time you will say name of professor again, and you will say Rajni, and you will say pass 245. Okay, and say BTech. Okay, this is the thing, guys. Now most important thing to know is you can say SYSOUT, you can say P1 dot DG, you can say, okay, P1 dot PW password, you can definitely say, and you can also say P1 dot username UN. all three things you can say on P1 object. Understood guys? All three properties you can access using the P1 object. But if you see the same thing using U1 object, U1, U1, U1. If you do the same thing using U1 object, what it is giving, DG cannot be resolved to a type. It tells you DG cannot be resolved to a type. Why? Because this is a parent class reference variable. Using parent class reference variable, you cannot access the child class object. What is the child class, guys? DG is the child class. Understood why it is giving you the error on line number 11? Using the parent class reference variable, you cannot access the child class element. Understood guys? Any doubt? Anyone having any doubt? Okay guys, we'll meet tomorrow. Thanks a lot.